3, 2, 1, let's go. Now the second masterclass is all about community. Communities in conversation, to be exact. Communities in conversation, a global day of learning for the community. To launch the Communities in Conversation program, I will now speak of how my father learned from books, from texts, from laws, from history. My father learned from world events, but mainly learned from people. He would seek out people to learn from, and from every possible path of life. And my father would do this through conversation, through talking and listening. For him, conversation was more defining a spiritual act, a way of opening up ourselves to beyond ourselves, a training perhaps for an opening ourselves up to God. To enter another's headspace is to realize we're all made in God's image. So now, speaking locally on particularly what does it mean to be part of a community nowadays, I can think of people who do distance learning and distance jobs where they're mainly working online and switch Airbnbs every 6 months, who communicates with their best friends primarily over Skype and FaceTime. So what in the world of today is advantage or even possible to think locally? What is a local community today? Well, a local community is actually dealt with in Psalm 1. To be strong, you need roots somewhere. Psalm 1:4 says, we won't call them wicked, we just call them just alienated or destabilized, like chaff blown on the winds. And that's what Facebook culture is. You actually know what this week's fashion or this week's viral video is. I mean, you don't have grinning cats, do you? Whatever it is this week, I don't know. That is not. This is blown this way and that way. This is not identity. So here it is. Which in the history of Facebook is quite something, because Facebook has just had its bar mitzvah. It's been around 20 years. 20 years Facebook has been around since 2004. Now, how many Facebook friends do you have? How many of those can rely on in an emergency? I was doing Facebook Live a week or two ago when the head of Facebook said to me, we were talking about just that because Mark Zuckerberg has changed the mission statement of Facebook to supporting community. The truth is, yes, Facebook can support communities, but it can't create community. Community are down here on the ground. You don't need Facebook. You don't need X. You don't need Instagram. You don't need social media to have a community. Therefore, we came up with this wonderful idea like a digital detox, in order not to be totally dependent on your smartphone or your computer. And I haven't bought the iPhone X yet, but I'll actually be completely inadequate then. But the fact is that one day a week, you've got to switch off the iPhone, meet real people in a real time, a real space. I suppose, let's call it real community. And here it is. All these technologies can support community, but it can't create sustained community. For that, you need physical presence. I vow, there is no true substitute for it. Ask yourselves, things to consider. What is the meaning of the metaphor of communities needing roots? What is Facebook to be likened to chaff blown on the winds? If Facebook cannot create communities, how can communities be created? Or what connects us all in a digital detox and community? It's communal faith. There have been belief systems that have emphasized the individual for a primarily religious experience as a private communion of soul with God. But that's never been my way. To be sure, we've had our share of mystics and contemplatives and philosophers, But the greatest challenge has been not to ascend from earth to heaven through the journey of the soul, but to bring the divine presence from heaven to earth and share it with others. And that's what I do. And I take a risk in doing that. But I try to share the divine from heaven with you today. Thou art on earth as it is in heaven. And I'll end on that point. On earth as it is in heaven. Local community, local people, doing the utmost for the best of the community. On earth as it was in heaven. Our connected community. One planet, one people, one love, peace, and light.